So we begin. Alrighty. Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? I hope all is well. We've got like 6 inches of snow outside. Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today, I'm going to be making another Weenies recipe. If you haven't seen some of the videos that have been in the Weenies series, I've made it all different kinds of hot dogs from all of different parts of the world with different combinations of toppings and methods, and I'll put a playlist link down below to that. And today, I'm going to be exploring the rice dog. I saw this video and then Felina messaged me and she says, "Hey Emmy, would you try this recipe?" And a couple others did as well. And so here I am to test out this recipe that comes from Cooking Haru. I'll put a link down below to the original video. And I don't know why I've never heard of this, seen this, or tasted this in my entire life. It seems like such a logical and delicious tasting thing, but very, very simple, as most delicious things are. You just have a hot dog, you wrap it in a bit of cheese. We're going to be using American cheese slices, a little bit of nori, little seaweed sheet, and then wrapping the whole thing in rice and then grilling it so it's toasted on the outside. So it's kind of like an onigiri, a Japanese rice ball, but kind of a yucky onigiri because it's toasted, but instead of the tuna mayo or the umeboshi inside of an onigiri, you have a hot dog and cheese and seaweed. I mean, it's not really like an onigiri, but kind of. So there's like this familiarity. And then, of course, hot dog. I mean, that's every kid's childhood. Not every kid, but a lot of American kids especially. I feel like we grew up eating hot dogs. And now we're going to be trying the rice dog because it just sounds delicious. And I can't believe I've never had it. And it looks delicious. So let's make it and get confirmation on this. So if you don't follow me already on social media, please do, and get in touch with me with any curious recipes that you want to know about because I want to know about them too. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we need is a bowl of rice that we've cooked. Ding! And this is Japanese style rice, so it's a bit sticky, and we want sticky rice so that when we wrap our hot dog, the rice actually sticks together. So it's a bit shorter grain than, say, jasmine rice. A little bit more like, say, sushi rice. But we're going to season this up. This is still warm. I cooked it and I've covered it. It's warm, but it's not just cooked. So I'm going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and about the same amount of sesame oil. Bloop. Feel free to omit it if you like, but I think this is going to add a ton of flavor. Stir the rice gently. We don't want to mash it up too much. And we're good. That's our rice. I'm going to set that aside. Keep it covered so it's nice and toasty. So I've got 4 hot dogs here, and we are going to score these with a cute little crosshatch pattern. And the way we achieve that is by scoring it lightly in one direction, about 1/4 inch diagonal cuts, not all the way through, of course. And then we're going to score in the opposite direction so that we get a bunch of kind of rhombuses or diamonds. Can you see that? It's kind of like reptilian. So this is decorative, but I think it'll also just make it tastier because we're going to next grill these up in a hot pan. Warm this up, and I'm using just a little bit of grapeseed oil there. And we're going to roast our hot dogs, or just kind of toast them up, right? Just so they get kind of a little bit of caramelization on the outside. The hot dogs are already cooked, of course, but this little extra bit of cooking is going to make them tasty. Oh yeah, look at that already. It's almost a shame that we have to cover them up. Ooh, so beautiful. So, hot dogs complete. They look so good. I've never cooked hot dogs this way either. I'm gonna set this pan aside because we're going to use it again, but just not right this second. Now we're gonna take some seaweed sheets. These are the same sheets that you would use to make sushi, but we are going to fold it in half and use it to wrap our hot dog. I believe in Korean it's called kim. And we're going to take one sheet along with some American cheese slices. And we're going to take this cheese, unwrap it, and place it right there on the seaweed. Lovely. Now we're going to take a hot dog. Now, in cooking Haru's recipe, I think their hot dogs were a little bit shorter, but I think we're going to be just fine. Now we're going to roll this up. Roly, roly, roly. I mean, this alone is going to be delicious. Now we're going to take a little bit of rice that we cooked and use that as paste to seal our little hot dog roll up. Lovely. So we're going to do that for all of them. Now, in one of the roll-ups, Cooking Haru does 2 slices of cheese to make it extra cheesy. So might as well try that as well. Not sure how I'm going to indicate that this one's going to be doubled up, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. Okay, now we take another hot dog, roll it up. This is very easy as long as you have your rice kind of pre-cooked. Boom. I think my kids are going to love this. Okay, so this one is the double one. That's like the thicker one. I don't know how I'm going to know that, but okay. Now we're going to take our seasoned rice and got a little bit of water here. We're going to take our rice and like a big handful of it. I would say that's about 1/3 of a cup or so, and kind of compress it. My hands are impeccably clean and I'm using a little bit of water to keep it from sticking too much to my hands. Then we're going to press it down and make a bed of rice for the hot dog. And now we're going to use our bench scraper and help us get this covered up. Wow, this is going to be quite the meal. This is a lot of rice. Okay, now just squeeze and press so that the hot dog and everything is covered up. Oh, this is great. Okay. Squeeze, squeeze, but don't compress too much. Just like when you're making an onigiri, don't press too hard. If you've ever wondered how to make an onigiri or a rice ball, I have a very old video from my days living in Japan that I'll put a link down below too, so you can check that out. So you can see my hot dog's peeking out, but that's okay. We're just going to cover that up with a little bit more rice. See? And press. Okay, so I'm going to do this to all of my hot dogs so that we can next grill them up. So let me continue and I will be right back. So I am back and I have enrobed all of my hot dogs in a layer of rice, and now we're going to toast our hot dogs. Now this little fat puppy right here, this one is the double cheese, and that is a normal one. Although they look pretty much exactly the same, I'm going to try to keep them separate so I remember. So we're just going to place, lovely. Now my pan is not very big, so I'm going to cook 2 at a time. I just need 2 anyways, just to compare the double cheese versus the regular cheese. And just let these toast on medium high heat, not too hot, and just so we get a little bit of crispness on the rice. I love crisp rice. Love that in my fried rice. Just love it so very much. So nice little textural crunch, plus you get that kind of nice toasty nutty flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of oil just for insurance so that the rice doesn't stick too badly. Alrighty. Give them a little toast. Nice. Try to keep the rice from coming off. So yes, I would recommend, if you're using a cast iron skillet rather than a non-stick skillet, to use just a little bit of oil to make sure that they don't stick too much. But they are getting toasty, look at that. So we're almost done. We're gonna brush this with a little bit of sauce to give the rice a little extra flavor. I've got 1 tablespoon of soy sauce in here. I've got some mirin, which is some seasoned rice wine. And we're gonna add about 2/3 of a tablespoon to that. I'm gonna turn my hot dogs just a second. Okay, good. And then another 2/3 of a tablespoon of corn syrup. This is Korean corn syrup. If you don't have this, you can substitute honey. And that goes. Mix that well. And that's gonna be like a little glaze. So once we get a little nice little toasting on the outside of the rice dogs, they don't want to stick as much, which is really nice. At the beginning, they want to stick, and the rice wants to come off, and then you're unhappy. Now we're gonna finish things off with just a little bit of this glaze. I've reduced the heat to low. This has corn syrup in it, and sugar likes to burn, so we don't want that to happen. So we're just doing this on low heat. This has already been toasted. So this is just to add a little extra flavor, a little color. And now to give it the kind of corn dog look, we're gonna take a couple skewers here. These are actually used for dipping caramel apples or candy apples. I'm gonna skewer our hot dog, and that way it'll give us the completed kind of hot dog on a stick look. Totally not necessary, but cute nonetheless, right? Alrighty, lovelies, the rice dogs are completed. Check them out. They're actually a lot darker than I had expected. Like maybe I put too much sauce on them. I don't know, but they do look quite delicious. So for the last 2 rice dogs, I think what I'll do is take the skewer and do the impaling before I actually do the toasting on the pan. That way I'll get the hot dog fully impaled without the hot dog wanting to poke out. And then it will be easier to roll them or toast them on the pan, perhaps. But as of now, I did what was instructed in the video, and doing the impaling afterwards makes for kind of a weak structure. So I'm not even going to attempt to hold them like a corn dog because it's just going to flop apart. But I am going to taste them. So I'm going to grab a fork, and I really want to see what these look like inside. So here we go. Alrighty. You ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. This is the double cheese. So we have nori, we have rice, we have hot dog, we have cheese. Look at that. That looks great. Alrighty, let's give this a taste. Here we go. Itadakimasu. Mm-hmm. I love hot dogs. If you like hot dogs, I think you'll like this recipe. The rice is great, a little bit toasted, a little bit nutty with that bit of sesame oil in there. It's a great delivery mechanism for the hot dog, which is well seasoned. Of course, use hot dogs that you enjoy. Get some good hot dogs. But the rice is a great delivery mechanism for the hot dog. The cheese, I think the double cheese is a bit much. It almost overpowers it. So I think 1 slice of cheese would be good. 2 slices was a bit much for me. It made it taste a little bit too nacho cheesy. But if you're into that, then go for it. I really like the addition of the seaweed in that. It gives it a really great seaweedy flavor. I love that flavor. It reminds me of onigiri. It tastes like onigiri. And then you've got that kind of slightly sweet soy sauce on the outside, which gives it even more flavor. I would like it to hold together a little bit better. I did use a Japanese style rice, which is a little bit stickier, but still it kind of wants to fall apart. And maybe I need to soak my rice longer or something. It's just not quite sticky enough that it's not kind of falling apart as I eat it. This is like if a corn dog and an onigiri had a baby together. and it's a delicious, delicious thing. Alrighty, my loves, there you have it, the rice dog, and it is every bit as good as you think it would be. Delicious. Just make sure you use the right kind of rice. Give the rice a good squeeze. I think I was a little tentative on my pressure, so use a little bit of squeezing action. It can handle it. Fry these up, and you will enjoy them if you enjoy onigiri and hot dogs, because I mean, a little bit of ketchup, or a little bit of hot sauce, chili sauce. Yum. Alright, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. I love hearing from you. I get so many wonderful suggestions from all of you, so feel free to get in touch with me. Like this video, subscribe, check out my website. I'll include a printable recipe, and I shall see you in the next video. Toodaloo, take care, bye! All right, now the question is, how many of these do you think you could eat? Several.